So this is my argument for why I think Ratchet from the first game from 2002 PS2 game was actually the best written character. Because a lot of reason why they changed this character so much is because they felt he was a little too mean, and that's why in the second game they kind of did write him to be more, you know, how to say it, a little less mean, a little less crude, basically. And I think that was a mistake because the reason why the first one is the most well written character in terms of personality is because it does work off each other. Like Ratchet is more brash, he's more of a fighter, he's more mean spirited, and that kind of works because Clank is supposed to be kind of like this more understanding, this more intellectual version. So it does work more as a character development of working off each other. So I did really like that they actually made Ratchet less mean. I think it would be better if they actually had the same the brashness, the kind of the more mean spirited one. I think that actually was a mistake to take that away. They should have just kept that one in the second game as such. I do think that you can say that it does make sense because they get along it at the end of the first game, and you can kind of argue that maybe that's why it changes for the better or something like that. So it's not like it's not totally out there. I think they actually did try to work that off in 2 and 3 in terms of PS2 games, though Ratchet and Clank 3 has there's some cringe comedy there, like the whole Britney Spears things, but I think the second game was at least on a story written level. It was actually I would say it was actually doing very well from the first game. In terms of consumerism and such. While the third game was a little bit of a mess, even though I think the third game is not bad or anything. No, it's fun to play, but yeah, no, it's not as good as the first and second game. But yeah, I think the mistake was the way it's so watered down is really because they just took out all the likable personality to work off each other in terms of a written character. But yeah, it was because people just Ratchet is too mean. I don't think they should have listened. They should have just went with it because it does work sort of like a duo thing. No, one is bad and one is good. It's kind of has a little bit more of a dynamic of interesting character development. So I think Ratchet from the first PS2 game from 2002 was actually the best written character in my view. I think they should have just stuck with it. I think Insomniac made a huge mistake by listening to critics on that one. They should have just went with it because it's more fun. When one is mean and one is good. They should try to have a little bit of a chemistry there. So that's just my view. I think the first one was the best written one. I think it was actually the most interesting character, and that's why I think even after all these years, despite the gameplay having aged a little bit, but they kind of does make up for it for trying to use weapons for tactical means rather than just being flat out shooter. But yeah, I definitely do think the first one on the PS2 was the best written in the series. So that's just my view on it. Thank you for listening and bye.